It's 9:45 at night. Immediately after the close of our last episode, as...
Oh, Perry, we're only crawling.
Well, I can't help it, Donna.
But we'll never...
The First Street Viaduct is out. Everyone has to crowd through here. I'll pass a couple.
But there are hundreds of cars ahead.
I'll swing out on Pine Avenue. Maybe traffic will thin out.
And if it doesn't?
We'll have to do something else. Are you watching the time?
Oh, yes. Ed Beacon was 5 minutes ahead of us. But he's going to Gordy Weber's apartment by a different direction.
Della, we don't know that Ed will do anything foolish.
Well, Audrey's afraid he will.
Yeah, oh, look. Pine Avenue is just as crowded as it could be. All right, come on, Donna.
Where?
Into that coffee shop there. The telephone. Oh, yeah, there are the phone numbers. Look, Della, phone call Greg's office. See if he was able to reach Gordy Weber. Use the other phone booth.
Okay.
I'll ring Weber's apartment just in case. Yes, Della.
Listen, I spoke with Paul. He's been trying to phone Weber's apartment off and on for 10 minutes. There's no answer.
Paul's still on the other line?
Yes, he is.
Well, I don't get any answer from Weber's apartment either. Now, look, if Kate was there, he has probably taken her out. I will keep ringing his apartment. You ask Paul to phone the manager of the Graydon apartment. Ask the manager to see if Weber's phone is out of order.
Can't you hear it ring?
Well, it can be out of order and still sound as it did. Just do as I asked, will you, Della? I'll hang on until you speak to Paul, then we'll keep going.
But meanwhile, Kate Beekman's father is inside the Graydon apartment building. Ed Beekman walks down the 7th floor corridor. Ed ignores the maid and bellboy who break off their conversation to stare at the expression of cold rage on Ed Beekman's face. Ed is thinking only of the man who lives in apartment 711 and of the girl Ed Beekman fears is with him.
This phone's ringing. We can answer the doorbell first. Come on, Gordy, open the door. He ain't answering the phone either. Maybe he's... I'm coming through this door, Gordy. Okay, I told you. Door isn't locked. Lights on. See anybody? Sounds louder when it stops ringing. Cigarette's still burning in the ashtray. Somebody was having a drink. Liquor. No sign of Gordy. Unless that should be a bedroom door. Still, he must have heard the phone ringing. The place must be empty. It's funny. Gordy left one of his shoes at the end of the couch. It's a funny way for a shoe to lay on the floor. Shoe ain't laying there by itself. Something's propping it up. It's Gordy. He's hurt bad. Real bad. He's dead. But he is dead. This couldn't have happened 2 minutes ago. Whoever did it couldn't be here in the apartment. Bedroom door is closed. Whoever did it could be on the other side, waiting to see if... Whoever did it is inside that bedroom. There's a closet door by the front door. I'm going to make whoever's in that bedroom come out. I'll open the front door and I'll close it loud. It's like I walked out. Now I'll step inside the closet. I'll leave this door cracked so I can see that bedroom door. And here's a vase. Okay, killer. Come on out. Come out so I can get a look at you. Yeah, I thought so. He's unlocking the bedroom door. All right, now open it. Come out so I can see. That's a woman. Oh, God. Oh, God, that's my girl. It's Katie. Where's she gone? I can't see her from here. Where is she? What's she doing? I'll step out. She's in the living room. By the couch. And there's a knife in her hand. She don't even look at Gordy. She's looking at him now. She's staring at him.
Oh!
She probably don't even remember doing it. I got to face her. I got to face her. I got... She's gone. Oh, Katie, baby, what? Why did you... I got to do what I can to help her. She handled the knife so her prints are on it. I'll wipe her prints off. Go on, pick it up, Bigman. Doing this to help your girl? Yeah. Pick it up. Wipe off her fingerprints. Oh. Quit bringing. Quit bringing. All right. Yeah.
Mr. Weber, this is Mr. Rowe.
Yeah, who'd you say?
I'm the new assistant manager.
Yeah.
There have been several messages for you, sir. I've tried to ring your apartment several times, and now I have you on the phone. Oh, dear, the phone. There's some people in the lobby. They're already in the elevator. I'm sorry, Mr. Weber, but I must hang up now.
No, I gotta help Katie. Look around, see if she left anything of hers here.
All right, don't move. I'm a police officer. Don't come any closer. I said don't move.
I'm not gonna...
He dead?
Yeah, I guess so.
Who is he?
His name is Weber, Gordon Weber.
What'd you do it for? I'm talking to you. What's your name?
Ed Beekman, general manager. Ed Beekman.
Turn around, Beekman. Turn around nice and slow. That's it. I'll be still. Gun. You carry another knife, Beekman? Where's your wallet? No, never mind. I got it. Beekman, Morell Street. Beekman. On parole. You're not on parole anymore, Beekman. Okay, Mike, call homicide. Tell him they got time to finish the last hand. We got the boy who did it. The killer's a parolee. Well, you dealt yourself a losing hand, Beekman. Aces and eights. Aces and eights. A dead man's hand. Now, go ahead and call him, Mike.
The shock of finding Gordy's body and finding himself under instant suspicion of murder are as nothing to the shock Ed Beekman experienced when he saw his beloved daughter in Gordy's apartment. What do you think is going to happen now? Well, join us on Monday, won't you? How would you feel if what has happened to Ed Beekman happened to you? How would you feel if, as with Ed Beekman, the evidence of your own eyes branded your daughter a murderess? How do you feel, Ed Beekman? A few moments ago in Gordy Weber's apartment, You saw your beloved daughter stand over Gordy's dead body. Kate didn't see you, Ed Beekman, but you saw her holding the knife that killed Gordy. You saw her drop the blood-stained knife and run away as if pursued by her own guilt. How do you feel, Ed? You're stunned and sick with shock. And now, even though police have arrived, though official routine is underway, you hear nothing, see nothing, save your memory of Kate.
What did you say?
Where are you going, Beekman?
Going? Why, I thought I'd step outside.
Well, that's one idea. I've got a different one.
Who are you, mister?
Lieutenant Halverson, homicide.
Well, my name is Beekman, Ed Beekman. I'm general manager, Nicholas Importing Company.
You don't say.
Mr. Nicholas, he's head of the company. He can tell you about me or Mr. Schneider. Mr. Schneider is my parole officer.
You already told the police officer.
Huh?
The police officer who found you standing by Weber's body, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, now I remember.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Beekman.
Lieutenant, can I go outside for a while? Just a little while. I'll come back.
I'm losing patience with you.
It's important, honest.
What?
Something I gotta do. Now, look, it's real important.
So is murder.
Sure, I know, Lieutenant, but it's a business matter.
You've got business right here and right now. Sit down, Ed. All right, let's have it.
Huh? Oh, you want a statement?
Cut it, will you? This phony act doesn't buy you a thing.
I'm not acting up.
Yeah?
My name is Perry Mason.
Mason.
Well, hello, Halverson.
Hello, Lieutenant.
What are you doing here?
Well, I came to see Gordon Weber.
Well, you can see him, but it won't do you any good. Weber got himself bumped off. That surprise you? It happened maybe 10 minutes ago. You got here quick.
So did you.
I'll get you a statement in a minute. Meanwhile, don't touch anything and stay out of the way, all right, Beekman?
Mr. Mason.
You acquainted?
Yes, I have known Ed here a long time. He was my key witness in the Walter Bott case.
He didn't waste any time calling on you. I wondered why he's been stalling.
I'm not stalling.
That's my word for it.
Take it easy, Lieutenant. You cooperate.
Wait a minute. Now, I didn't send for Mr. Mason.
Beekman, we find you here with a dead man, and 2 minutes later your lawyer shows up, but you didn't send for him. Beekman.
Lieutenant, you know why we wanted to see Weber. You know that Mr. Mason's investigating the syndicate.
I knew it when I was on auto theft. Now I'm on homicide. This is homicide.
Mr. Mason, I want you to know...
Talk to your lawyer later.
He is not my lawyer.
Aren't you, Mason?
Well, that depends on whether he needs counsel. Now, in case he does, I certainly advise him to say nothing without advice of counsel.
Okay, Mason. You told him, and I didn't try to stop you. You hear him, Beekman? Your lawyer says don't say a word unless he okays it. All right, we got that out of the way. Everybody knows where they stand. Now, I'm going to give you some advice, and I'm going to do it right in front of Mason here. Now, you're on the spot.
What?
You know what I mean.
No,
The lieutenant thinks you had something to do with Gordy's death.
More than something.
You think I killed him?
What else can I think, Beekman? You and Weber were old enemies. We got that from your parole officer. You and Weber had trouble when you first got on parole.
We had trouble, sure, but...
Your parole officer tells me it was serious.
Hey, I was mad. I admit I was mad, but Lieutenant, that was a long, long time ago.
Or maybe you're a guy who stays mad a long time. Anyway, what else am I to think? You and Weber were enemies. We find you here with his body. You had motive, you had opportunity. Mason will tell you that I'm drawing a reasonable conclusion.
I tell you, Lieutenant...
Now, wait a minute. Listen to my advice and then tell me. Beekman, if you didn't kill him, tell every single thing you know. Everything. Explain what you were doing here and tell me what you saw. If you didn't kill him, start talking and change my mind. That's if you didn't kill him. If you did, then clam up. Don't open your trap.
Okay, Lieutenant.
Ed, don't let him stampede you.
What's your beef, Mason? If he's clean, he's got nothing to hide. Why not let him talk?
A dozen reasons. Ed, listen. You don't have to talk now. Wait and see what...
Why? I can tell him now. I didn't do it, Lieutenant.
Okay, you didn't kill him. Who did?
I don't know.
What?
He was dead when I walked in.
And you had nothing to do with it, hmm?
No,
Then
sir.
why did you answer the phone and say your name was Weber?
Shut up, Ed.
Let him talk, Mason. Why did you pretend to be Weber?
Well,
Was Weber dead when you answered the phone?
Ed, don't say another word.
I'm not trying to trip him up, Mason. I'm giving him the chance to come clean. Now, what about it, Beekman?
Look, I don't know why I answered the phone.
All right, then try one you do know. Why did you come here?
I wanted to see Weber.
At 10 o'clock at night, all of a sudden?
Yes, sir.
Why?
It was personal, private.
Look, this is murder, Beekman. There is nothing personal or private about murder. Who else was in the apartment?
Makes you think there was anybody else.
I'm asking you.
The answer is no.
Nobody else?
Nobody else.
Keep talking, but you don't say anything.
I said I didn't kill him. I'll tell you this, though. He deserved killing.
Ed. You mind repeating that?
He deserved killing.
Is that why you killed him?
I didn't kill him, but whoever did...
Well, keep going, Beekman. Don't stop now.
Nothing, Lieutenant.
I thought so. Nothing. I'll give you another chance, Beekman. If you didn't do it, start talking and make me know it. No? Then if you did kill him, it doesn't matter whether you talk or not. I'll show you why. Mike, send the fingerprint technician in on the double. I'll have to ask you to wait in the next room, Mason.
As you know, Ed Beekman did see someone in the murder apartment. Ed Beekman saw his daughter. But Kate did not see her father. She doesn't know of his danger. Now, several blocks away.
Kate. Kate.
God. Oh, God.
Are you all right, Katie?
Yes, I'm all right, but... Oh, God.
Something's wrong. I've been following you for several blocks. Ever since I saw you leave the Graydon Apartments. I was on my way to see Gordy, and then I saw you leave his building. I didn't believe it was you. Not at first.
Oh, God, please.
Forgive me for thinking it, but when I saw you... Well, it's really none of my business if you go see Gordy.
Oh, God.
Kate, you're crying.
Oh, something terrible has happened, Gus. It was so terrible. Gordy's dead, Gus.
Dead?
And he looked... Oh, he looked awful.
When did this happen, and where?
In his apartment just a minute ago. Oh, God. Gordy was killed. I was there when it happened. Oh, God. I was there.
It's ironic, isn't it, that Kate Beekman tells Gus Jansen of Gordy's murder. It's ironic because no one on earth knows quite so much about Gordy's death as Gus Jansen, the man who killed him. The man to whom Kate Beekman now pours out her confidence. You'll join us tomorrow, won't you? It's shortly after 10 at night. 15 minutes since the murder of Gordon Weber. As a few blocks from the murder apartment, Gus Jansen watches Ed Beekman's daughter fight to control her tears. Kate doesn't notice how keenly Gus watches her. She doesn't suspect any motive for her interest, save friendship. Now...
Katie. Kate. Get hold of yourself, Kate. People are stopping to look.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gus.
You got out of your system now?
I think so.
Then tell me.
About Gordon?
You'll need a friend, Katie.
I hate to talk about
You'll
it.
have to someone. Wouldn't you rather to me?
Well,
That's my girl. Now, how did he die?
there was a knife, and there was blood on it. God.
Now, wait, don't try to talk now. Come on. My car's right over there. I'll take care of you. Get in, Katie. Now, you went to his apartment. Why?
He said he was going to prove things about you and my father.
What things?
I don't know. He never told me.
He was lying to you, Katie. He only wanted to get you alone.
I guess I should have known better. He was drinking. He'd been drinking a lot. Instead of...
Yes?
He was fresh. I got scared and I ran into the bedroom. I locked the door. Oh, that was foolish, too, but I didn't think. He knocked on the door and he said he'd break it down if I didn't come out. And then
Yes?
he stopped knocking. I didn't hear anything for a minute. And then I heard Gordy's voice. He was begging. And then he screamed. Oh, it was terrible. I waited for a few minutes. I don't know how long, and then I opened the door. I didn't see him, not at first. And then I did.
When you heard Gertie's voice, did you hear him mention a name or hear other voices?
No.
Do you know if it was a man or a woman?
No.
Everything was just as you told me. And you did tell me everything.
Of course.
Kate, I'm your friend. I hope I don't have to say I want to help.
I know, Gus. And I'm grateful.
And please, trust me, and please don't be hurt by what I say.
What are you talking about?
You, me. Kate, it's hard to believe.
Oh. Now I know what you're thinking. Gus, do you think
I'd understand if you did. Gordy was a mean, dangerous guy. No one could blame you for protecting
But
yourself.
I didn't. Really, Gus, I didn't. I ran away from him.
Forgive me, Katie.
Gus, how could you think that
I didn't want to, and I don't now. But you ran away.
What?
You ran away after he was killed.
And you thought because I ran away? Oh, Gus, you know why I ran. I was scared, and Gordy looked... Well, I couldn't stay there.
I understand, Katie, because I know you. If only you'd called the police and told them.
Oh. I never thought. I only wanted to get away. I'm beginning to think clearly now. You're right. I should have called the police. I'll tell them now.
Yes, you'll have to, of course. And explain as best you can why you ran away. If only... Kate, did anyone see you leave the apartment?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, that's a break. Go back and phone the police. Don't let on you ever left the apartment. No?
I can't go back in there. I just can't.
Then phone them from the corner. Tell them what happened and where you are. They'll come to you.
All right.
Tell the police you ran straight to a telephone. I'll let you off in front of the drugstore. Oh, and Katie, better tell your mother and father. Prepare them for it. What is it?
My father.
What's he got to do?
Everything.
You've got to think about yourself, Katie.
I have to think about him, too. Oh, Gus, He's on parole, and he just got a promotion.
Well, all that's separate and apart
No,
from...
you don't understand. He's happy. For the first time since he came home, I almost wrecked everything before. Now, if he learns I went to see Gordy...
You can explain.
How can I explain all those months I worked in the club? And how... I've got to think. Tell me what to do, Gus, please.
I told you, phone the police and tell them.
Tell them what? What can I tell them? What can I tell them? I don't know who did that to Gordy.
No.
It isn't as if I could help them. If it was just me, I would go back. I want to. Don't you see? Don't you see what it would mean to Pa? Gus, you understand.
You really mean it, don't you? You take a real chance to keep from hurting her.
It isn't as if I could help the police. A chance?
Yes. If you don't tell the police you were there, and if they should learn you'd be in a jam here, a real jam, I think you should go back.
I won't hurt my father and mother, Gus. Don't ask me to.
I'm thinking of you. Remember, it'll be worse if the police find out.
You explain. And I understand. I'll take my chance.
I'm proud of you, Katie.
Then you do understand.
You know I do. All right. I'll drive you home.
Now, in the murder apartment, police technicians photograph the scene as Perry Mason draws his secretary to one side.
Bella,
Yes, Chief.
first chance you get, go outside. Phone Audrey Beekman. Tell her what has happened.
Oh, Perry.
Warn her that she will be questioned by the police.
Okay.
And then phone Jackson. Tell him to stand by to get rid of habeas corpus for Ed Beekman.
For Ed?
Yes, this looks tough. Oh, comes help.
Sorry I had to keep you waiting. You know Beekman pretty well, huh, Mason?
Uh-huh.
He did you a favor?
A big one. His testimony helped me break the Walter Bott case.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Beekman went to prison because he stood up to be counted.
And I hate to nail the guy, but... Well, it's my job. Let's go.
Where?
Talk to Beekman.
All right, let Miss Street go down and move my car.
Now, don't worry about your car.
I really think I ought to move
You
it
come with
before-
us on the street. Mike, wait outside.
Yes. Well, how's it going, Ed?
Well, I'm okay, Mr. Mason, but I'm worried about Audrey. Did you phone Audrey, Mr. Mason?
Nobody phones her, not yet. I want Mr. Mason to hear this. Beekman, you were in stir. You're on parole now. Now, you know Mason. If you know him, you trust him. Now, Mason is standing here because I want a guy that you can trust to back up what I say. Beekman, the medical examiner, is just about positive that Weber was killed with the knife that we found laying beside him. He can't be dead sure until the autopsy, but off the record, he knows that Weber was killed with that knife. We found fingerprints on that knife. Your fingerprints.
Oh, Perry.
Now, Mason, every word I just told him is true. His prints are on the murder weapon.
What are you asking, Lieutenant?
Tell him that I'm not lying.
Halverson is not lying, Ed. He shoots square.
Okay, Beekman, let's have it.
Huh?
I can't promise you a thing. You're on a one-way street. But if you get it off your chest, I can promise that the street won't be so rough.
You mean confess?
Mm-hmm. And I'm asking in front of Mason so you'll know that I'm not handing you a fast shuffle. Now, make it easy on yourself.
I've got nothing to confess.
Tell him how it stands, will you, Mason?
He doesn't have to. I know what I'm up against, but I'm not going to confess because I didn't kill him.
I'd like to believe you, fella. Mason?
I didn't kill him.
Halverson, Ed is not a liar.
Maybe not. But there are times when any man will tell a lie. You'll have to stick around a few minutes, Mason. I've got something to tell you. Beekman, never mind. If you need any cigarettes, just ask the sergeant.
You know Ed Beekman's fingerprints are on that knife only because Ed took action to protect his daughter. But for whatever reason, his prints are on the knife that killed Gordy. And now, well, by all means, join us tomorrow, won't you? It's 11 at night, 1 hour after Gordy Weber's murder, as the routine police investigation continues. This routine is efficient, impersonal, carried out with machine-like precision. But no matter how scientific and impersonal, the officers who conduct this investigation are not machines. They are men. And these men have all the instincts and emotions of other men. For example, if Lieutenant Halverson cared only for the record, he'd be satisfied with his investigation, because apparently he has an iron-bound case against Gordon Weber's killer. But in spite of the evidence his work has brought to light, Halverson is troubled. And now, in the murder apartment.
Hey, Lieutenant, it's the district attorney's office.
Tell him we got it wrapped up. Now, wait a minute. Tell him we're still working.
Yes.
Still working, Lieutenant?
Yeah, Miss Street. Mason, I'd like a word with you.
All right.
Step outside in the hall with us, Miss Street.
Well, I've seen it before, but the police are always impressive when they work against someone.
No, we do the job. But we should. We've had enough practice. I got the door. Now, this is off the record, Mason.
Okay.
I gave you Ann Beekman the straight goods. Beekman's fingerprints are on the knife that killed Weber. We found Beekman alone with Weber's body only a few minutes after the murder. We know Weber and Beekman are old enemies. Now, that's a nice case. It's got everything but a ribbon tied around it. But I don't like it.
Well, what don't you like, Halverson?
Two things. First, you tell me that Beekman testified in the Walter Bott case when he didn't have to. And because he testified, he went to prison.
That is true.
That doesn't sound like a killer. But this I don't like even more. Beekman doesn't sound like a killer. Mason, I hit him over the head with the stuff I got against him, the fingerprints and his motive and his opportunity, but it doesn't faze him. He stands there solid as a rock, looks me square in the eye and says he didn't do it. But those fingerprints are looking at me, too. I can't forget the fingerprints and all the rest, but Mason, I can't forget Beekman either. Now, the evidence tells me that Beekman's lying. But he's got a look that says he's giving it to me straight, that he didn't kill Weber. I don't know. I know this. If Beekman's innocent, he knows more than he's saying. Now, if that's the way it is, Beekman is playing tag with a buzzsaw. He's got to talk now, Mason, if he's got anything to say. Now, this is off the record, you understand.
Oh.
Now, Beekman hasn't got the right to see his lawyer alone until after he's formally charged. The DA would raise Cain if I let you talk to him. So I'm not going to let you talk to him. But when we step back inside, I'm going to the telephone and report to the DA's office. I can't watch you all the time. And if you happen to step into the room with Beekman, I won't see you. If you do speak to him, it's without my knowledge or consent. Yeah?
Yes, I understand. Thank you, Halverson.
Don't thank me. I'm not doing anything. I'll be with you in a minute, Mason. I got to make a phone call.
All right, Dello.
Mr. Mason?
Now, look, Ed, we only have a moment. You know what you're up against. Halverson did not lie to you.
I know he didn't, Mr. Mason, but I didn't kill Gordy.
But how did your fingerprints get on the knife? Look, Ed, we believe you, but...
I didn't kill him, Miss Street. That's all I can say.
Can't you talk to me?
I can't say any more, Mr. Mason, not even to you.
Look, Ed.
Not even...
Where did you see Kate?
Kate.
You learned that Kate was on her way to Weber's apartment. You followed her.
I never saw her. I just got here before she did. I never saw Kate.
You're wrong, Ed.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean.
I'm not going to say another word, Mr. Mason, except I didn't kill Gordy.
Ed, look, there's something you've forgotten about.
What are you doing in here, Mason? You been talking to Beekman?
Yes, to him.
Oh, that really burns me up, Mason. You weren't supposed to come in here. But since you did you do any good?
Ed says he didn't kill Weber.
And that's all. Beekman, I leaned over backwards to give you every break. I hope you know what you're doing. Let's go.
Taking him in?
District Attorney Apt wants him immediately. Here's your coat and hat. Let's go.
Just a minute. Mr. Mr. Mason, will you see Audrey, please? I know she's worried sick.
I'm sorry, Beekman. Your parole officer wants to question her before she learns what happened.
Lieutenant,
That's the way it is. Mason, I can either hold you here until Mr. Beekman is questioned, or you can give me your word that you won't tip her off. That a deal?
All right.
Let's go, Beekman.
Mr. Mason.
Yes, Ed.
I'm ready to go, Lieutenant.
I'll put him in the squad car and then sign off with you, Mason.
Perry.
Stella. Yeah, the telephone extension in here. Nobody on the line. Now, let's phone the Beekman apartment. Say that you're a friend of Kate's, and you want to speak to her.
Oh, won't Audrey recognize me?
She is probably so worried by now that she won't. Hold the phone away from your mouth and try to change your voice.
Okay.
Here, the number's ringing.
Mrs. Beekman? This is Lorraine. Can I speak to Kate? Oh, no, ma'am. I wanted to borrow a dress pattern. Thank you. Kate isn't home yet, Chief.
All right, now look. Phone Paul Drake. Tell him to comb the neighborhood. Make every effort to find Kate. Meanwhile, I'll stall Halverson until you've spoken to Paul.
Perry, you think...
Ed Beekman is covering for somebody. Have you got a better candidate?
As you know, Perry Mason suspects the truth. Ed Beekman is trying to protect Kate. But meanwhile, only a few blocks from the Beekman home, Ed Beekman's daughter rides beside Gus Jansen, the man who did kill Gordy, and who now, even as he poses as Kate's friend, schemes to betray the unsuspecting girl and smear her with his own crime. Now,
Gus, won't you take me a few blocks further? Oh, of course, I'm sorry if you were seen with me.
Kate, do I have to tell you I'm your friend?
Oh, you've been so sweet, Gus. I don't know what I'd have done if it hadn't been for you.
You always turn to me, Katie. Always. I stopped here because there's something I want to say. It isn't too late to turn back and tell the police you were in Gordy's apartment.
I can't hurt my father and mother, Gus.
Now, what do you think of yourself, Katie? If you don't tell the police and they learn you were there, it'll look worse, much worse.
I thought you understood, Gus. I can't really help the police.
I'm thinking of you, dear.
I have to think of Pa and Ma.
Katie, you mean a lot to me. More all the time. I have to tell you how it'll look to the police if they learn you were there. You'd come under suspicion.
Well, I'll just take my chance. And really, I don't think anyone saw me, so who would tell the police? No one knows but you, Gus. Will you tell them?
Don't even say it in a joke, Katie.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I'm grateful to you, but well, I've got to keep smiling because when I see Pa and Ma...
Are they at home?
Yes. Oh, I told them I was going to see a girlfriend and come straight back.
I wonder where you were.
Well, I'll have to think of something. I'll say I went to a movie.
Just any movie? What if they ask you about it?
Well, then I'll say I've been to one I've already seen.
Which one?
Well, golly, I haven't been to a movie in a long time. Oh, I'm not a very good liar.
You'll have to use your head now, Katie. This is one time you'll have to make a lie stand up, which is only right, of course. A little lie is nothing compared to protecting your mom and dad.
No. Only I wish I didn't have to lie.
Since you do. Unless you tell the police.
Oh, I can't.
You've got to be on solid ground.
My folks won't try to pin me down.
Someone else might. You could have been seen. Someone might have gotten a glimpse of you, so you need a... what is it called?
Oh, an alibi.
Yes, I think so. A picture show is a good excuse, but since you haven't been to one...
Could I go now?
Now?
Well, it's late, but I could go to a late movie.
And phone your parents first? Tell them not to worry. You and your girlfriend are going to a late show.
Why, yes. If you think I should.
It's for you to decide, Katie. Well?
Yes, I'd better see a movie. Gus, can you go with me?
There's nothing I'd rather do, Katie, but Gordy's death means complications at the club. I really should... But I'll go with you.
No, Gus, I can't let you. You've done more than enough.
Well, if you don't mind too much.
I'll be all right.
That's my brave girl. Now, don't get out. The least I can do is drive you to the theater. Any particular show you want to see?
You know there'll be exciting and dramatic developments in the immediate future. So you'll join us tomorrow, won't you? It's almost midnight, shortly after the close of our last episode, as Ed Beekman's daughter smiles trustingly at Gus Jansen and thanks the man who killed Gordy Weber for being so helpful to her. More of Kate in a few moments. First, Ed Beekman's parole officer goes to the Beekmans' apartment.
Yeah? Mr. Schneider.
Hello, Mrs. Beekman. I want to come in.
Well,
Mrs. Beekman, must I remind you that your husband's parole officer has the right to visit his home?
No. No, sir. Come in, Mr. Schneider.
Thank you. Call your husband, Mrs. Beekman. I wish to speak to him.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Schneider. Ed isn't here right now.
Oh?
He went out for a minute. What's wrong, Mr. Schneider?
What makes you ask?
Oh, it's natural. Ed's been doing real good. You know he has. Got another promotion.
What made you ask if something's wrong?
Well, it's natural. Ed's doing fine, but now you come asking questions. Well, naturally, I want to know.
Where is he?
Went down to the corner or for a walk. He goes for a walk sometimes. What's happened? Was he hurt?
He's all right.
Oh.
When did he leave?
Well, I don't know exactly.
And you won't tell me exactly where he went.
I can't.
Where's your daughter?
Kate? Why, she had an engagement. What's happened to her? You've got to tell me what's happened to Kate.
Why, nothing so far as I know. This has nothing to do with her so far as I know. Your husband is breaking the rules, Mrs. Beekman.
Please, Mr. Schneider.
The rules say he should be in his home by this time.
It's the first time he's been late. I swear it, Mr. Schneider. Ed obeys the rules.
He isn't here now.
For the first time, Mr. Schneider. You ought to tell me what's happened, Mr. Schneider.
How was he when he went out?
What?
I said, how was he when he left home tonight? Well?
Just the same as always.
Well, I really didn't expect information from you.
Oh, how can I tell you when you want...
Now, go ahead and answer the door, Mrs. Beekman.
Mr. Mason. Della. Hello, Audrey. Ex-parole officer's here. You met Mr. Schneider, Miss Street, Mr. Mason.
Oh, Mr. Perry Mason, the famous defense lawyer.
Will you tell me what's happened, Mr. Mason? He won't tell me.
I came to get information. Not that I expected you to cooperate.
Please, Mr.
Well,
Schneider.
as I told the police when they asked me to talk with you, I didn't really expect you to cooperate. All right, Mrs. Beekman. You had the opportunity.
To what?
Good night, Mrs. Beekman.
What is it, Mr. Mason?
It's bad trouble, Audrey.
Please tell me. It can't be worse than things I've imagined.
Gordon Weber was killed tonight.
Oh.
The police were called immediately. They arrived only a few minutes after the murder. When they arrived, they found Ed alone with Gordy's body.
Oh.
Oh, Audrey.
Where is he?
They've taken him to the district attorney's office with Ashley.
Oh, Lord. Poor Ed. Can I go to him and face it?
Well, you couldn't see him, Audrey, not yet. I've started the legal machinery, but...
What are they doing to him?
Questioning him.
Oh, Why does it have to happen? Why? He did what any father'd do. He knew Gordy Weber. Kate was on her way to Gordy's apartment. Don't they understand how a father feels? Is he any less a father because he's on parole? Ed didn't mean to kill him. Ed may have hit him if he saw Kate in that apartment. And my lusties hadn't hit Gordy, but... Oh, where is Katie? Was she there
No,
when...
Kate never reached the apartment. At least so far as we know.
Ed didn't see her?
He says not. Audrey, Weber was stabbed to death.
Ed didn't do it. I don't care what happened. Ed didn't do it. I know my husband. Even if Ed says he did do it, I'll never believe my Ed
Audrey,
could have...
Ed says that he did not kill Gordy. And I want to believe him.
Well, you can't. My Ed wouldn't stab a man.
But someone did. And until we know... My assistant is filing a writ of habeas corpus.
What?
I'm going to force the DA to place a formal charge against Ed.
Should you force him to... I'm sorry, Mr. Mason. You know what to do, and I want you to do anything. Anything that'll help Ed.
I'll force Abt out into the open so we'll have a better idea of where we stand.
He'll know soon.
Oh, yes, right away. You want to go with us?
No. Not unless I can see Ed. I'll wait here for Katie.
You've heard nothing from her.
No. Well, at least she's out of it.
Did you tell Mr. Schneider that Kate started for Gordy's apartment?
No. Thank the Lord I had sense enough not to.
Well, then the police don't know why Ed went there. We'll keep that to ourselves for now.
All right.
Now, the moment you see Kate, tell her I want to talk to her.
Tonight?
Yes, the moment you see her. I'll phone you before I leave the DA's office. If she is not here by then, I'll tell you where you can reach me.
What is it, Mr. Mason? Why do you want to see her? Oh, she ought to be home.
Well, I have some people looking for her, private detectives. Call Drake's men.
Why do you want her?
Oh, I want to ask her why she started for Weber's apartment, among other things.
All right. All right, I'll tell her.
Good. Now, how about you, Audrey?
I'll be okay, Mr. Mason. Not as scared as I was. Just know Ed didn't do it, that's all. And since he didn't, I know it's going to be all right. Don't you worry about me.
Would you like me to stay, Audrey?
No thanks, Stella. Mr. Mason, tell Ed I love him.
I will. I'll phone you inside the hour.
It's easy to hold your chin up when somebody's watching. Oh, I wish Katie was home. Yeah?
Hello, Ma.
Katie, where are you, honey?
I'm going to a late movie, and I didn't want you and Pa to worry. Will you tell Pa? And tell him good night for me.
He's not here, Katie. He followed you tonight.
What?
Kate, honey. Did you go to Gordy Weber's? It doesn't make any difference. Okay. I want to ask you something, Katie. Will you come home? Something's happened.
What?
Gordy Weber was killed tonight. Honey, please get here as quick as you can. I just can't be alone now.
Alone? Where's Pa?
The police think Pa had something to do with what happened. Mr. Mason's helping him.
Ma.
Katie, I need you.
Ma, where is Mr. Mason?
Katie, come home. Please come home.
I want to know, Ma. Maybe I can help.
How?
I have to see Mr. Mason. Ma, won't you be all right?
Yes, of course. You help Pa. Mr. Mason's going to the district attorney's office.
Will you be all right if
Don't waste time, honey. If you can help your Pa, don't worry about me. Go to Mr. Mason, Katie. Go quick.
You can guess Kate Beekman's shock at what she just learned. But Kate doesn't know the full truth. She doesn't know her father saw her in the murder apartment. Ed Beekman saw his daughter standing beside Gordy Weber's body. In her hand, the blood-stained knife that killed him. Kate doesn't know her father is where he is, enduring what he must endure because he saw her and because Ed Beekman loves his daughter. You'll join us tomorrow, won't you? It's 1 a.m, sometime after the close of our last episode, as Perry Mason takes immediate legal steps to do all he can to help Ed Beekman. More of Mason in a few minutes. First, August Jansen, the man who killed Gordy Weber, picks up the phone.
JT, this is Gus Jansen. Everything's perfect. You got everything you wanted, JT. Gordy's dead. They'll charge Kate Beekman. I know she hasn't been charged. Not yet. The police don't know she was in Gordy's apartment when he was killed. Not yet. Meanwhile, she's establishing her alibi. Oh, no. I didn't tell her to fix up an alibi. She thinks it's her idea. It's pitiful. You see what it means. When the police question her, they'll crack her alibi, and then... Yeah. An hour? Sure. You see it.
But meanwhile, in the district attorney's office, Mr. Apt says...
Lieutenant, what time is it?
1 o'clock.
Beekman, you see how much time we've wasted? Why don't you be reasonable? The lieutenant and I are reasonable men. All we want is a simple statement of the truth.
Well, I told you I didn't kill him.
Yes, you say you didn't.
Well, that's the truth.
You didn't kill him.
No.
You deny that.
Yeah. I told you over and over.
Then let's try something you won't deny. Is your name Beekman?
Sure.
I don't want to trap you into making an unguarded statement. Your name is Beekman. You're sure of that?
Yeah.
Good. Now, we've made a start. Your address is 8118 Morell Street, yes?
Yeah.
Where you live with your wife, Audrey, and her daughter, and your daughter, Kate.
Now, look, what are you doing, Mr. Apt?
I'm endeavoring to learn what facts you are sure of. Now, we know your name, your address. Good. You're on parole?
Oh, now, you know all this, Mr. Apt.
Just answer the question.
Yes, sir.
And you're employed at Nicholas Importing Company?
Yes, sir. I'm general manager.
General manager. You take pride in your position?
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
You attained your position because of your brains and ability?
Well,
Answer the question.
Yes, sir. I guess so.
Well, let's be certain now, Beekman.
Okay, all right. It took brains.
In other words, you're an intelligent fellow.
I didn't say it was... Yeah.
I'm only trying to clear away my confusion. All right, Beekman. What time did you leave your home last night?
About 9 o'clock.
Oh, what time? 8:45, 9, 9:15?
I don't know exactly.
But you did leave home?
Yes, sir, yeah.
About 9?
Yeah.
And you went to Gordon Weber's apartment?
Yeah.
And?
I opened the door and went inside.
And?
And I found him dead.
He was dead. You're positive he was dead? Now, think carefully, Beekman. Don't let me trap you. He was dead.
Yeah.
Did you see anyone else there?
No, sir.
Do you remember the time you entered his apartment?
No.
Do you remember the time when a police officer found you standing over Weber's body?
No.
But you do admit the police found you alone with Weber's body.
Yes, they found me. Now, look, Mr.
For your information, Weber died only a few minutes before the police arrived. You were there even ahead of the police. The police found you, Weber's body, the knife that killed him, with your fingerprints on it. Is that true?
Yeah.
And will you admit you and Weber were enemies?
Well, I never had any use for
you
him.
You told the lieutenant he deserved to die, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess I said that. Look, give me a cigarette, will you?
In a moment.
Well, then give me a drink of water.
In a moment. Beekman, by your own admission, you're a most intelligent man. And you admit further you were caught red-handed with the body of the man who's your enemy. Your fingerprints are on the murder weapon. You say you didn't see anyone else, and yet you persist in saying you didn't kill Weber. Beekman, I'm very confused. However, I'm willing to take time to get myself straightened out.
Yes.
What time is it now, Lieutenant?
A couple of minutes past 1.
We spent a lot of time, but my voice is getting hoarse. You notice it, Halverson?
Now that you mention it.
I believe I'll go get an aspirin. I have to be careful of my throat. I'll return in a moment, Beekman.
Here's your water, Beekman.
Ah.
Want some more?
No, that's enough.
Have a cigarette. Go on, take one.
Thanks.
Match. Beekman, the DA's coming back in a minute. Now, until he does, it's you and me. I'm going to tell you something.
Don't do me no favors, Lieutenant.
Not you. You're a friend of Perry Mason. I owe Mason a favor, so I'm going to tell you something.
Thanks.
The DA holds all the cards, Beekman. He's got cards you don't even know about. So you're only making it tough on yourself. He's got all the cards in the deck.
I got one, Lieutenant. I got an ace in the hole. I didn't kill Weber.
That's just what he wants.
What's that mean?
App wants you to play innocent. That's why he's shoving you. You're giving him just what he wants.
Well, he keeps asking me to say I killed him.
Yes, but he's crowding you, Beekman. App wants you to go into court saying you're innocent. He wants your lawyer to back you up. He's got a cinch hand, and he'll play it out to the end. App's been waiting to give Mason a licking in court.
You do it pretty good, Lieutenant.
What?
The change of pace. The nice cop who comes in after all the others have yelled at you. Gives you a drink of water, a cigarette, even lights it for you. Well, I'm not buying it, Lieutenant. I didn't kill Weber.
Oh, Lieutenant, step out here a moment, please.
Tell him it didn't take, Lieutenant.
Did he change?
No.
You tried?
Yes, Mr. App, I gave it a try, but it didn't take. He says he's innocent. That's all, he's innocent. I don't like it.
You don't? I do. I like it very much indeed.
I can't help it. The guy makes an impression.
Yes, he certainly does.
If it wasn't for all the evidence we've got.
But we do have the evidence. We know he's guilty.
Are you satisfied that he is?
Oh, no question. Oh, I'll grant you he sounds very sincere. And that one fact is going to make a fool out of Perry Mason. Mason's on his way here with a writ of habeas corpus. Mason is going to force me to charge Beekman.
How does that make Mason a fool?
Mason will force me to charge Beekman. When I do, Mason will have a conference with Beekman. Now, Mason doesn't know all the evidence we have, right? So when Ed Beekman looks Mr. Mason full in the face and tells Mason he's innocent, Mason will be inclined to believe him. And Mason doesn't mind saying what he believes. Oh, of course, Mason will have to enter a plea of not guilty when we go to court. That's the law. But there is also a court of public opinion. And when Mason so states his belief publicly and before the trial, and then I show him up in court. Ah, yes, Lieutenant. I'm very pleased. As a matter of fact, I'm glad Beekman is such a convincing liar.
Meanwhile, in the street, outside the district attorney's office.
Della, I'm going in and serve this writ of habeas corpus. You wait here.
And?
Paul Drake is meeting us, perhaps with a report on Kate Beekman. Find out, and then let me know.
Perry, I've been thinking about her.
Yes, so have I.
If Ed refuses to talk because he's protecting his daughter.
If. Too many ifs. I can tell you this for sure, Della. If Ed killed Gordy, he's heading straight for the chair.
If. I don't believe it.
But if Ed is covering up for Kate, then every single moment we stumble around in the dark makes his position and hers more dangerous.
Why hasn't she gone home?
It's a good question.
It just makes her look guilty, doesn't it, Chief?
Yep. All right, you come in as soon as you've spoken to Paul.
Wait,
Ella.
Perry.
I can't waste
Perry,
more time on
Perry,
that.
there's Kate.
What? Where?
Going in the building. Isn't that Kate?
Yes, I've got to stop her before she's seen.
Well, what do you think will happen now? Will Perry Mason make a start towards unmasking Gordon Webber's killer? I can tell you the events of the immediate future will have profound, crucial effects on the lives of Ed Beekman and of Ed Beekman's daughter. By all means, join us on Monday, won't you? It's late at night, only a few hours after the ruthless murder of Gordon Webber. As in the district attorney's office, Ed Beekman, suspect, again says he did not kill Gordy, makes no attempt to explain the evidence against him. Meanwhile, on the street outside the building, Ed Beekman's daughter walks quickly to the front entrance.
Kate.
Oh, Mr. Mason, I was coming to see you.
All right, well, see me now. Let's go.
Isn't my father here with the district attorney?
Yes.
Look, I have to see the district attorney right away, Mr. Mason. I phoned Ma, and she said they think Pa killed Gordy, but he didn't. I have to tell the district attorney.
Tell me first. Now move. Katie, step away from the lights. Some men are coming out.
I don't care if anybody sees me.
Kate, you say your father did not kill Gordy?
I know he didn't. Please let me tell the district attorney.
How do you know?
Because I was in Gordy's apartment when he was killed. I was there, Mr. Mason.
Okay. Now we'll get in my car.
I just have to tell the district attorney.
Well, wait a moment before you see Mr. Abbott. Now, your father is all right, Kate. He's being questioned, but... Here, get in front of Miss Street.
All right, Mr. Mason, but don't you want me to tell the district attorney?
Tell us, and then we'll see.
Hello, Kate.
Hello, Miss Street.
Stella, you keep watching for Paul Drake.
Okay, Chief, I'll keep listening, Kate.
I know Pa didn't kill Gordy, Miss Street. I was there when Gordy was killed. Pa didn't do it.
Who did, Katie?
Well, I don't know.
You mean it's someone you never saw before?
I didn't see who did it.
Then how do you know that Ed didn't?
Because Pa wouldn't.
We don't think so either, Kate, but Mr. Abt has evidence.
Miss Street, you don't understand. I didn't see Gordy killed, but I heard him, and from what I heard, I just know it wasn't Pa. All I have to do is explain to Mr. Abt.
Can you? Can you answer the questions that he will ask you?
Yes, of course.
Practice on me.
What, Mr. Mason?
Answer my questions. Start with, what were you doing in Weber's place? And then go on with what you know of the murder.
Yes, sir. Harry.
I'll watch for Paul. You take notes, Stella. You've got enough light?
Yes, I have.
All right, Katie.
Well, when my father got his promotion, I quit my job in the nightclub. But I didn't tell Pa I'd been working for Gordy Webber. Last night, Mr. Webber phoned me. He wanted to tell me something about Pa. Mr. Webber asked me to come to his apartment.
You've been there before?
No.
Or gone out with him?
I hardly ever spoke to him.
You must have seen him at the club.
I'd see him, but we never talked. I didn't like him.
Then why did you work there?
Miss Street, I was wrong. But the others were so nice, and Mr. Webber didn't bother me.
All right, go back to Weber's phone call now. What was he going to tell you?
It was something about Pa. Mr. Mason, my father and mother have been happy for the first time since Pa came home. It looked like they were going to have some of the things they never had before. Look, as long as I live, I'll never forget the look on Ma's face when Pa told her we could bring my brother and sister home and we'd all be together again. They were so happy. Then Mr. Webber spoke to me, and I was scared. I was scared, Mr. Mason. I thought if I went and talked to him...
So you did?
Yes. So I went to his apartment. But he didn't tell me anything. He was drinking. I guess he had a lot to drink, and he was fresh. I was already inside his apartment before I realized he was drinking so much, and when he came after me, I ran into the bedroom and I locked the door. And that's when it happened. As soon as I locked the door, he started beating on it with his hand. He said he was going to break it down.
You heard him clearly?
Yes. And then he stopped. I couldn't hear anything for a minute. Then I heard his voice again.
All right, Kate, now think carefully. Repeat everything you heard.
All right. At first, I didn't hear words. It was just the sound of Mr. Webber's voice speaking to somebody. I didn't hear the other person, but I could tell Mr. Webber was speaking to somebody. And then I began to hear words he was saying, not all of them. He talked so fast all his words ran together, but I could hear him begging, please, please not to hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
But then whoever it was did hurt him because his voice changed. And after that, I didn't hear him anymore. I didn't hear anything. I waited for a long time. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But then I heard the front door close. Whoever hurt Mr. Weber had left the apartment. So I opened the bedroom door, and then I saw him. I could see where he was hurt. I couldn't do anything to help him. Nobody could. So I ran away.
And you heard nothing else? No mention of a name?
No, Mr. Mason. There was nothing else. I don't know if it was a man or a woman who killed him.
Kate, did you phone the police?
No, sir. I just wanted to get away. I guess I was cowardly, but if whoever it was came back and found me...
You didn't call the police, you're positive?
Yes, sir.
And you remember everything that happened? I mean, are there times you don't remember? Especially before you ran into the bedroom.
Mr. Mason, I know what you're asking me. I didn't stab Gordy Weber. It happened to him after I locked myself in the bedroom. I remember only too well.
When did you notify the police, Kate?
I didn't, Miss Street, and I suppose I was wrong, but there was nothing I could tell them. Of course, I didn't know they suspected Pa. So I just went to a movie.
What?
I don't think anybody saw me leave the apartment, but in case somebody did get a glimpse of me, I wanted to establish an alibi.
Okay.
I thought if I could keep out of it, then Pa wouldn't be involved. I couldn't help the police, not then. But now...
You can't
I
now.
can, Mr. Mason. Don't you see? Whoever killed Mr. Weber didn't even argue with him. And Mr. Weber pleaded for his life. But the main reason it couldn't have been Pa is... Look. Pa wouldn't hurt a fly unless he was mad. Real mad. Isn't that right? All right, I know it's right. I know my father. If Pa was mad enough to hurt Mr. Weber, Pa would have talked loud. My father doesn't get mad often, but when he does, he talks loud. He just does. You see, Mr. Mason? Don't you see?
Yes, we do, Katie. We do because we know Ed Beekman very well. Not as well as his daughter knows him, but we have to make people who do not know Ed Beekman understand. And we have to explain away the evidence against him.
The evidence?
The police found...
They found certain things indicating your father may have killed Weber.
Mr. Mason,
Katie, we know your father is innocent. Now it's up to us to prove it to others who suspect he's guilty. And that's why you must not see Mr. Aft now.
Don't see him.
There's Paul Drake, Perry.
Oh, blink the light, Stella. Get him over here.
Here he comes.
Get in.
Okay. Hiya, Perry. Della?
Ed Beekman's daughter, Kate. This is Paul Drake, head of the Drake Detective Agency.
Hello, Katie. I've been looking for you.
What?
I knew that your father followed you to Weber's place. The police found him alone with Weber's body.
No.
And since Ed refused to explain his presence, we thought he was covering for you, so I asked Mr. Drake here to locate you.
And Mr. Mason's a better detective than I am.
We saw Kate just as she was going in to see the DA.
And stopped her just in time.
Mr. Mason, would it hurt anything if I tell Mr. Aft?
What would you tell him, Katie?
I was inside Mr. Weber's apartment when he was killed.
Who did it? She doesn't know, Paul. Kate was on the other side of a locked door. How come? Now, wait a minute, Paul. Wait. Kate is going to tell you exactly what she told us. And she's going to tell you over and over again, on the chance that she will remember details. You understand that, Kate?
Yes, sir.
When's this going to happen?
While you're taking Kate to Della's apartment. All right, Della?
Yes, of course. Here's the key, honey.
Now, you'll be perfectly safe, Katie. Mr. Drake will assign one of his men to keep an eye on Della's apartment.
Yes, sir, but...
I'll phone your mother so that she won't worry. And, don't you worry, all right?
If you say so, Mr. Mason.
And, Paul, no matter what happens, Kate is not to speak to the police under no circumstances. If they question her, she'll have to tell the truth. And if they learn Kate was in Weber's apartment, they can nail her father to the cross.
Mr. Mason.
Because your being there, Katie, would furnish your father a perfect motive for killing Weber. Got that, Paul?
Oh, sure. You want me to hide a witness.
Well, the DA doesn't know that she's a witness.
I'll admit that makes a slight difference until they learn she is.
And then they won't know where she is. And that changes it.
Yeah, but I should have learned a long time ago.
What, Paul?
Never argue with a lawyer. Not when his name is Perry Mason.
All right, Katie. Oh, check with you later, Perry.
Mm-hmm.
After I see Ed. After that, I may have an angle, Paul. We'll see.
Perry Mason's decision to keep Ed Beekman's daughter out of sight will prove to be a key decision. Because in the very near future, Kate's very life may well depend on keeping her whereabouts secret. Be sure to hear tomorrow's important and exciting development. It's almost 2 in the morning. Shortly after the close of our last episode, as in city jail, Ed Beekman, suspected killer, is taken to a conference room. Meanwhile, Attorney Perry Mason is admitted by the desk sergeant. Then follows a guard toward the same conference room.
Just a second, Mr. Mason.
Oh, all right, Burton. Fellow looked good. When we see Beekman, give him a chance. Don't tell him what we've learned.
Well, all right.
All right, Burton, I'll take him to the conference room.
Oh, hello, Halverson.
Mason, Street.
Hi, Lieutenant.
How is Beekman?
He's already in the conference room, but I want to see you first.
Here?
Yeah, this is okay. Mason, I'm not going to tell you your business. You know your way around. But just the same, I've got to tell you this. I sat in when the DA questioned your client. And I'm not talking out of school when I say that Beekman didn't give an inch. Beekman claims he's innocent, in spite of the fact that we found him in the murder apartment, and in spite of his fingerprints on the murder weapon. He's a real stubborn guy, and he's convincing. But, Mason, he's playing you right into the DA's hands.
How?
Because Beekman is the best liar in the business.
Why, Lieutenant.
Now, wait a minute, Miss Street. He claims he didn't kill Weber, and I almost believed him. But the evidence says that Beekman is a liar. And because your boss made a chump out of Abt in court, he's hungry for the chance to get even. So Abt wants Mason to say that he believes Beekman is innocent.
And I'll do that because Beekman is such a good liar?
And because you've known Beekman a long time and you stick by your friends. And because if Beekman convinces you he's innocent, you'll put yourself on the line.
Well, thanks for the warning, Halverson.
I owe you a favor. Come on. I'll take you to the conference room. It's just down the hall. Now, you know, Mason, I'm sure that Beekman's lying. He killed Weber. There's no two ways about it. I can't help feeling sorry for the guy. I talked to his boss, Mr. Nichols.
Oh, yes, I know him.
Beekman was going places. Then, boom. Sure got himself messed up. Just don't let him sell you a bill of goods, Mason.
Ed won't convince me that he's innocent, Lieutenant.
Good.
I'm already convinced. He didn't kill Weber.
Mason.
I agree with him.
Okay, Mason, okay.
Mr. Mason.
Hello, Ed.
Hello, Ed.
How's Audrey, Mr. Mason? Did you see her?
Yes, I saw her.
She okay? They leave her alone?
Well, your parole officer questioned her, but only for a few minutes. She sends you her love, Ed.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, mister. I'm not even going to ask if she knows I didn't kill Gordy. I don't have to ask if she knows.
Yes, she knows you didn't. Sit down, Ed.
Yeah.
Cigarette?
No, thanks. That cop, Halverson, he gave me a pack. But I am out of matches.
Oh, here you are. There.
Thank you. Well, what about you, Mr. Mason? Do you think I killed Gordy?
No.
You didn't even hesitate when you answered me. Well, I didn't do it, Mr. Mason. You can believe that.
I do.
I know they got all that evidence, all that stuff they dug up when I had trouble with Gordy. That, my fingerprints, all the other stuff.
Yes, let's deal with that. And your prints and the other stuff.
Just a minute, Mr. Mason. I didn't ask you about Katie. How's Katie?
She's all right.
Did you see her?
For a few moments. Now, Ed, what about your prints on the murder weapon?
Well, just a minute, Mr. Mason.
You have waited too long already to explain them. Let's have it.
I got nothing to say.
Can you explain them? Or don't you remember?
Maybe I could explain it. Maybe I will when the time comes.
It has.
I just can't talk about it now, but... You see, there's something else. You know, I made a bad mistake tonight, Mr. Mason. Do you know what happened? I got the crazy idea my daughter went to Gordy Weber's apartment. Imagine that. Can you, Miss Street? Of all the goofy ideas. Why, if I had stopped to think for one little minute, I'd know Katie wouldn't go to see Gordy. Not me. No. No, I didn't stop to think. I had to beat it to Gordy's place.
I know. Audrey phoned, and I beat it after you.
So that's how you got there so quick. Well, anyhow, that's the story of why I went to Gordy's place. Of course, I was all wrong. Katie wasn't there. It was just a big mix-up, that's all. Imagine me thinking Kate would go to Gordy.
Why didn't you tell the police?
Well, I don't want Katie involved.
But you say she's not involved with a mix-up. Or did she go to see him?
No, don't even think of it, Mr. Mason. She wasn't there.
Ed, I gave you the chance to tell me yourself that you aren't ready to trust me. Now I'll have to make you trust me. Kate was in Gordy's apartment when he was murdered.
What makes you say a thing like that?
Kate told Della and me. Della can show you her notes. She was in Gordy's apartment, and you know it, and that's why you have been covering up.
Katie told you she went there?
Yes, she did.
I've been trying awful hard for nothing, huh? I've been lying all the time, Mr. Mason.
Well, let's have the truth now, Edmund.
Yes, sir. I killed him.
What?
I killed him. That's all. I killed him.
But you didn't,
Wait,
Ed.
Della, wait. How?
Huh?
How did you kill him?
With this knife.
You just walked in, stabbed him to death?
Yeah, about like that, Jack.
Okay, all right. Why?
Why did I kill him? Well, when I went to his place, I went in, and there was a door off the living room. That door was closed. I asked Gordy if my daughter was there. He said yes. So it just happened.
You talked to Gordy?
Talked to him?
That's right.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't remember.
Kate didn't hear your voice.
What?
She heard Gordy's voice. She heard him plead for mercy, but she didn't hear anyone else.
She tell you that? Well, that's the way it was. Yes, as I remember now, I didn't talk.
You just walked in and killed him.
That's what happened, Mr. Mason.
Now you are lying.
Listen, the DA says I killed him. His sidekick says I killed him. Police say so. Now I say so. I killed him. I want to see Katie.
Oh?
I want to see her right now.
Why?
Never mind why. I want to see Katie. I want to see her right away. Is she home?
No.
Well, then where is she?
I won't tell you.
What's the big idea? You won't tell me. She's my daughter. Where is she? You gotta tell me.
Notice him, Della?
What's that mean?
You do raise your voice when you get angry. If you were angry enough to kill a man, Ed, Kate would have heard you.
She told you that. Well, that was mighty sweet of Katie. I mean, trying to cover up for her old man. Don't change anything, Mr. Mason. I still say I killed Gordy. I still want to see Kate.
Why, Ed?
Oh, tell her how it happened. Ask her not to feel too bad. I gotta make her understand something. See, it's not as bad for me as it would be for somebody who never got in trouble.
Someone like Kate?
Makes you say that?
Well, just for example.
Yeah. Just for example, yes. It wrecked Katie's whole life if she had to say she killed Gordy. Now, Katie's whole life is all ahead of her. It ain't that way with me. I got messed up anyhow.
You were making a good life.
Oh, now, let's not kid ourselves, Miss Street. This is no tragedy. I'll cop a plea. I'll get off with a sentence, maybe. It's tough going back to stir, but at least I know what I'm up against. You know, it's funny. When I got out on parole, I swore I would never go back. I used to have a dream. A dream that I was back behind bars. When I woke up, I'd feel good because it was a dream. Lots of nights I told God I'd never go back no matter what. That just goes to show how wrong a man could be. Huh? That's funny, huh? Well, look, maybe you'd better call the DA so I can sign a statement, Mr. Mason. If I get to thinking about going back, my hand will start shaking. They wouldn't be able to read my writing. Oh, God, I don't want to go back. The good Lord knows it's better me than somebody else then. Well, call him, will you, Mr. Mason, while I still got guts enough to act like a man?
You know Ed Beekman is innocent, in spite of his confession. You know Ed is fighting to protect his daughter. You may be sure Perry Mason also has guessed the truth. And Mason is about to make a discovery which, well, we'll learn what happens tomorrow. So by all means, join us, won't you? It's very late at night, immediately after the close of our last episode, when in a conference room in City Jail, Ed Beekman reversed his stand and suddenly confessed he did kill Gordon Weber. Now, Ed looks from Della Street to Perry Mason, then lowers his eyes, says,
We're only wasting time, Mr. Mason. Call in the district attorney. Let's get it over with, huh?
Ed, what makes you so positive your daughter killed Weber?
Don't say that, Mr. Mason. I killed Gordy. I did.
I'll see what that is.
Ask the guard to tell the DA I want to get it over with, Mr. Mason.
Yes.
Would you step here just a minute? Paul Drake is phoning you. He says it's urgent.
Oh, all right. Wait inside. Yes? Yes, Paul. Yes, tell me now. Yes, she told the truth. Yes, it helps a lot. Thank you. You let me back inside the conference room, please.
Look, Mr. Mason.
Ed, you sit there and listen. A short time ago, your daughter told me she was in Weber's apartment when he was killed. I didn't let her tell the police because her being with Gordy would give you a perfect motive for killing him. Now, I sent Kate to Della's apartment with instructions to repeat everything she saw and heard to Paul Drake. You know him.
Yeah, sure. Now, look, Mr. Mason.
You listen. Kate told me her story, but she told it fast. I hoped that she would remember additional details, and she did. Della gave Kate both keys to her apartment.
What?
You forgot to take a key off the key ring for yourself. So when Kate got to your place, Kate tried to take a key off the ring to send back to you. Paul had to use his pocket knife to loosen the key. And when Kate saw Paul's knife, it pulled the trigger.
Knife reminded.
Come clean with me, Ed.
Mr. Mason, I trust you more than any man alive.
Then prove it.
I can't. There's things I can't tell anybody, not even Audrey.
Della.
Yes, Chief.
Would you wait outside in the corridor, please?
All right.
Mr. Mason.
Go ahead, Della. All right, now, Ed, there's nobody here but you and me. If I repeat anything you say, all you have to do is deny it, and that's that. Now, you're convinced that Kate killed Weber.
No, sir. I killed him.
Don't say that to me again or it quits and I mean it. Now, you're trying to take the rap for Katie. Why? It's a phony rap. Kate did not kill him.
I prayed it wasn't so, Mr. Mason. But it is. I won't try to kid you. I didn't kill Gordy.
Well, finally, we're getting someplace. Now, go on.
But that's as far as it goes, Mr. Mason. So help me, I'll swear on a stack of Bibles I did kill him, and I can make that stick.
Ed, why do you think I'm shutting you?
What?
I know good and well you could make it stick if I stood by and allowed you to. But I won't let you make a needless sacrifice.
Well, I got the right to do what I can for Kate.
Well, make me see it or I'll block you.
You can't do it, Mr. Mason.
You think not? Maybe you're right. But you'll fight me every step of the way if you don't make me see it. Now, come on, Ed. Prove that you know what you're doing.
Okay, Mr. Mason. When I walked in Gordy's place, he was dead. From the looks of him, it just happened. In fact, I thought the killer might be trapped in the apartment, so I closed the front door, loud, like I was going out. But I stayed inside, ducked in the coat closet. In a minute, I heard the bedroom door open. I couldn't see who it was at first. There's a little angle of the wall. Then I saw Katie. She was holding the knife in her hand. When she dropped the knife, she ran out. Well, now you know what I saw, Mr. Mason. What went on before I got there, I can't say, but I can guess. She probably had every right to kill him. I'm a man, so are you, Mr. Mason. You know what a mean, heartless guy can do to a kid. I understand why she did it. Maybe you could even get her off, but I won't have my daughter dragged through the mud. I'm going to take it for her because I got to. If I'd have been a good father, I'd have found out she was mixed up with Gordy a long time ago, but I didn't. And now I'm paying for it. I'm going to pay for it, Mr. Mason.
Have I ever lied to you, Ed?
No, sir.
It is true Kate worked in the nightclub that Gordy managed, but she rarely spoke to him. Your daughter never went out with Gordy. She never went to his place before the night he was killed.
Mr. Mason.
She went to see him that one time only because Weber claimed to have information to give her. Information about you. When she went to his place, he became fresh and she ran into the bedroom to get away from him. While she was in there, and just before you arrived, Gordy was stabbed. Kate heard him plead for mercy. She was terrified. She waited. She heard nothing. Then she opened the door. She did not remember she picked up the knife when she opened the bedroom door. Not until a moment ago when she saw Paul Drake use his knife on Della's keyring. Then Kate remembered another detail. When Kate opened the door, the first thing she saw was the knife. She picked it up, walked farther into the room, and saw Weber. When she did, she dropped the knife and ran. You didn't see her stoop and pick the knife up because of the wall angle. And you did not know that that was Kate's first visit to Gordy's place. So you assumed a previous relationship. Now, you didn't think clearly yourself, Ed. But you did what a loving father would do when you tried to protect Katie.
Thank God.
Now, Ed.
Don't look at me, Mr. Mason. I can't help.
Yes, I understand that, Ed. But we are not out of the woods yet.
What? What, Mr. Mason?
For example, your fingerprints on the knife.
I can tell you about that now. I wiped Katie's fingerprints off the knife. I saw her holding it.
Yes, of course. But you can't tell the DA without implicating Katie.
That's right.
Now, Ed, the district attorney has a case against you. But there's a weak link in his chain of evidence. That's your motive. As long as App doesn't know Kate went to see Gordy, he has no motive for you except the old trouble between you and Gordy, and that's a weak motive. So far, App doesn't know she was there, or he would be searching high and low for her. So let's keep her under wraps while I start digging.
It's okay with me, Mr. Mason.
That means you have to stay in jail.
I don't care. I can take anything now.
Good. Now, I think we have a chance. Because if anyone saw Kate and recognized her, App would probably know it by now. Probably. So, you keep on just as you have. Say that you're innocent. That's all.
Meanwhile, in another part of the city, a young man named Jimmy Mitchell paces the floor in his rooming house. Jimmy Mitchell is a porter in Gordy Weber's apartment building. He's a hard worker and alert. Jimmy Mitchell couldn't sleep tonight. And now, instead of lighting another cigarette, he starts to leave his room, stops, runs a comb through his hair, and then...
Yeah?
It's me, Jimmy. Open up.
Jimmy?
Open the door, Marion.
Wait till I put on my robe. What is it?
Let me in.
No, don't, Jimmy. Mrs. Dean is real strict.
Cut it out, Marion.
But she is. Well, what is it?
I couldn't sleep. Neither could you.
Oh, Jimmy.
We got to tell him, Marion.
No, please.
We got to, baby.
They arrested the man who killed Mr. Weber. I saw the cops take him when they went past the coffee shop.
I can't help it. We got to tell him. And about the girl, too. Now, listen, Marion. You and me saw the red-headed girl go in Weber's place. Then the older guy. Then we saw the girl run out. And we got to tell.
Oh, I don't want to, Jimmy. She was a nice kid. I know she was.
And I know she was in the place a guy got himself killed. We got to tell, baby. You can't change it.
But why, Jimmy?
Because we'll be in trouble if it comes out we saw her. We don't know who else saw her and saw us looking at her.
I don't...
We got to tell him, and we ought to do it now.
No. Oh, it's after 2 o'clock.
Then All right, then first thing in the morning, honey.
All right. If you say we have to.
Well, you might remember Marion Conley and Jimmy Mitchell. Because those two nice young people are going to play crucial roles in the lives of Ed Beekman and Ed Beekman's daughter. By all means, hear tomorrow's important development. It's 9 in the morning as the daily routine in Perry Mason's busy law office gets underway. But Miss Gertie Lade, switchboard operator and senior employee in Mason's outer office, is absorbed in the morning newspaper. And for a moment, she doesn't see the nicely dressed young man who enters the office, walks up, stands beside her.
I just can't believe it.
Don't believe anything you read in that newspaper.
Hmm?
Gertie, I'm ashamed of you.
Oh, Mr. Jacobson. What did I do?
You bought the wrong newspaper. Why didn't you buy the Daily Blade?
Oh, I don't have to. See, I buy the record and read the funny papers, and then I trade with Thelma.
Oh?
How's your wife, Mr. Jacobson?
Oh, she's just fine, Gertie. You say Thelma reads the Blade?
Uh-huh. Then we trade papers, and I read your column.
After you read the comic strips. Well, it figures.
Is that a crack, Mr. Jacobson?
Not at all, Gertie. You want to tell Mr. Mason I'm here?
Uh-huh, but he's awful busy. Gee, Mr. Ed Beekman was arrested for murder.
Yeah, I know.
He's awful nice. And so is his wife and daughter. His daughter's just beautiful. She used to be a dancer.
Yeah?
Uh-huh, only she hurt her back in an accident, so she had to quit. Gee, she's got the prettiest red hair.
Gertie.
Yes, sir?
Mr. Mason's expecting you.
Gertie?
Yeah, Della.
You see Jake Jacobson in the office?
I'm looking at him right now.
Hi, Della.
Oh, hi, Jake. Mr. Mason's waiting to see you.
Right. See you, Gertie.
Say hello to Mrs. Jacobson, huh?
Uh-huh. Hello, Mr. Mason.
Oh, Jake. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thanks for seeing me. I was planning to come to your press conference at 11 o'clock.
Oh, well, I wouldn't make you wait, Jake.
Oh, you wouldn't?
Oh, of course not. I owe you a favor for your assistance in the matter of Suzanne Barkley.
Uh-huh.
You were one of our favorite newspaper people, right, Della?
We say so all the time.
Well.
As a matter of fact, I am certain the district attorney knows that you have worked with me in the past.
Well, I wouldn't be at all surprised. I don't know what you're leading up to, Mr. Mason, but speaking of the district attorney, you don't mind
No,
if
not at all, Jake.
Have you got a bear by the tail, Mr. Mason? Is all the stuff Apt says on the up and up? Apt says he's got Beekman's fingerprints on the murder weapon.
And so he has.
And that the police found Beekman in the murder apartment right after the killing. And that while Beekman claims he's innocent, at the same time, he can't explain the evidence.
And that's true.
You're going to plead self-defense or...
No, Jake. Ed Beekman is innocent.
So what about the evidence?
Well, I can't explain that now. I'm telling you straight, however, Ed Beekman is innocent.
Well, that's good enough for me. He's innocent. Okay. But you admit the DA has a case?
Mr. Apt is spoiled with riches.
Huh?
Mr. Apt is in very high clover. He has so much evidence against my client, he's just looking at it and smiling happily when he should be working. Mr. Apt is not going after the real murderer, not yet. But Apt is a good man, Jake. I like to have him working for me, so let's put him to work. Now, when I hold my press conference, I'm going to announce my absolute belief in Beekman's innocence. Meanwhile, you interview Mr. Apt. Tell him you have already seen me and that I say Beekman is innocent. Further, at the proper time, I will prove Beekman innocent because I'm on the trail of new evidence.
Are you?
Well, let's say that I want Apt helping me. And he'll go to work when you say that I have secret evidence.
Why? He's got a case against Beekman.
Ah, yes, but it is not as strong as it looks. All we have to do is rock him off the dead center, okay?
Sure, but why not just clear Beekman? Can you?
Yes.
Well, tell me why you don't.
I can tell you this. Ed Beekman is innocent, but at the present time I can prove his innocence only by pointing the finger of suspicion at another innocent person.
Well, couldn't you point the finger just a little bit? Use him for a red herring?
A red-haired red herring?
What was that, Della?
All right, Jake. Now, if you will see Mr. App.
Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Mason. Red-haired, red herring. So Beekman's daughter is mixed in.
Oh, Perry, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, Della. I'll keep my mouth shut. Why didn't you guys tell me Ed Beekman's daughter is mixed in? You can trust me.
Yes, you, Jake.
Then what? Oh. My editor.
Yes, your editor jumped the gun and almost cost Suzanne Barkley her life.
Yeah, he felt awful bad about that. I learned something from it, too, Mr. Mason. Arch Kerner is a swell guy. In a lot of ways, one of the best guys I know. But with him, the newspaper comes first, last, and all the time, and in between.
Well, as long as you understand it, Jake.
I do now, and I'll watch what I tell him. That's a promise.
All right. Well, since you've guessed part of it, here's the rest. Ed's daughter was in Weber's apartment the night he was killed. Kate is innocent. So is Ed. The simplest way to prove it is for Apt to turn up the real killer.
Does Apt know Beekman's daughter was there?
No.
What if he starts digging and gets wise?
Well, he can't get to first base without Kate's testimony.
And
first you have to catch your fish, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you mean that particular red herring will be very hard to find, huh? Okay, Mr. Mason. I'll see Apt right away.
Now it's a short time later, as in Mr. App's office.
Yes? Who? Why didn't you tell me a newspaper columnist wants to see me? As the others can wait. Send in Mr. Jacobson.
Good morning, Mr. Apt.
Oh, good morning, Jacobson. Sit down, sit down.
There's a young couple waiting to see you. I can wait.
Oh, I wouldn't think of it, Jacobson. No, indeed. My office is constantly filled with people. Oh, I see them, of course. It takes time. However, I managed to get the job done in spite of interruptions.
Yes, sir. Mr. Apt.
And even if I say so, my record is improving all the time. That incident last night, for example. I merely point this out in case you have occasion to mention it in your very excellent column. As I was saying, Gordy Weber was murdered. And within minutes, mind you, we had the killer under arrest. Yes, and in spite of the fact that the killer's defense lawyer arrived almost as quickly as the police.
You mean Mr. Mason?
Yes. I'm almost sorry for Mr. Mason. He's going to take a very thorough beating in court.
Mm-hmm. I just left Mason's office. He's called a press conference in a couple of hours, but he talked to me first.
He made a statement?
Uh-huh. He says Beekman's innocent.
Oh. He's whistling in the dark, of course.
Well, he's whistling loud and strong, Mr. Apt. He gave me permission to quote him directly.
Going to give him publicity, huh? Well, it's your privilege.
Well, I'm willing to quote you, too, Mr. Apt. I was thinking of an angle. Defense attorney says his client is innocent. District attorney says he's guilty. Let's see who's right.
Go right ahead, Jacobson, by all means. I say Beekman is guilty.
Okay, and thanks a lot, Mr. Apt.
Not at all, Jacobson. Any time at all. Just a moment.
Yes?
You and Mason are friends.
Yeah, well, I've known him a long time.
A strange thought just crossed my mind. I wonder if Mason sent you to me.
Well, come to think of it, he did kind of suggest it, Mr. Apt.
He kind of suggested it?
Yeah.
Mason wanted me to take a stand?
I guess. He didn't say why, unless... Oh, no, that couldn't be it.
What couldn't?
Oh, something about some stuff he's uncovered. What? You think he's leading you into a trap?
Oh, that's ridiculous. Mason never saw the day get outmaneuver Frederick Apt.
Uh-huh. But I can tell you one thing. Mason's awful careful what he says for publication. If he says Beekman's innocent, he thinks he's got a way to prove it. But we all make mistakes. Even Mason. Only I don't happen to remember him ever dropping the ball, do you?
Mason's lucky.
Yeah, well, look, he can't be lucky all the time. Right, Mr. Apt? I mean, even a guy who's landed on his feet as often as Mr. Mason. Well, even with a guy like that, bound to slip sometime. Probably. Well, I'll be seeing you, Mr. Apt.
Perry Mason's maneuver has given Mr. Apt concentrated food for thought. It could be that Mr. Apt will throw the power of his office into an investigation to unearth the real killer. But remember the names Marion Conley and Jimmy Mitchell, the young couple waiting to speak to Mr. Apt. Well, by all means, join us tomorrow, won't you?